Hey guys, so today I'm going to show you the Dolphin emulator on the Galaxy S7. This one's about 2 or 3 years old now, 2 models behind the S9, which just came out a few weeks ago. Yeah, so let's just jump right into it. And so, actually what I'm going to do is use a PlayStation 3 controller hooked up via USB OTG, and this is just because the control layout on this is so terrible. The buttons, they just disappear sometimes. It's really odd, and you'll see when I boot up the emulator what actually is happening, that all the buttons end up going into the corner. It's just a whole mess. So really quick before we start, I want to show you guys that if you go into the settings, there's not really much to change. Now it has some options like using dual core, speed it up, which obviously most phones now are going to have a dual core processor. But other than that, there's not really much going on. And an interesting thing to note is that there isn't a way to increase the frame skipping, which every emulator I've used ever, whether it was on my laptop or on my phone, has had the ability to do frame skipping. And this emulator, I could not figure out a way to find the frame skipping and to change it. And that would help kind of speed up the emulator if you could actually choose the default for that. So, alright, let's just jump right into it. So I'm going to start off with Super Smash Bros. Melee for the Nintendo GameCube. So I actually have the FPS on right now, but it's so small in the corner. And so right now I'm getting about 50 FPS just for the animation, so it's understandable. But once you jump into the game, I'll read it to you guys, it's about 20 FPS, and that's just on the menu. And if you look actually in the corner, you'll see what I was talking about. The buttons end up getting in the corner and getting stuck. And you can configure them, but I've moved them and I've positioned them. I'll close out the app, I'll open it back up, and they're just back in this position, or just off the screen completely. So that's why I'm using, again, wired PS3 controller via OTG. So let's just do a quick versus match. The controller will work. And you notice again, there was that stutter where it kind of stopped, didn't really load the menu. So let's do classic Mario versus Bowser. I'm on level 9, really giving myself a little challenge. And let's do Pokemon Stadium, which is like somewhat of an intensive level, graphically, just because it's always producing different, the level's changing. But again, you can hear the stutter, you can see the lag, and you can hear the audio just the game does not want to push through this. Yeah, and you see I'm getting right now 20 to 25 FPS, which it's not playable. 30 FPS might sound like a decent amount, but honestly, you hear that, it's not playable at all. Like even that corn animation, that should not have taken that long. That took like 3 times as long as it should have. So again, if you're going to play something like this, you're going to need like 40 FPS minimum, I would say. And I'm getting about 20. And I don't have power saving mode on. This is running full processor right now. And again, you can hear the audio stutter more when when that bomb exploded. Yeah. So again, not really playable. This is not an enjoyable experience at all. And in case anybody's out of the loop, Smash Bros. Ultimate was released at E3. They're bringing back all the Melee characters, so we won't even have to be playing this if you have a Switch. You can just get the new Smash. Alright, so let's quit out of this. And let's open up... Let's try Mario Sunshine. Again, another GameCube game. And an issue with this emulator, not really an issue, but every time you boot up a game, you're going to get hit with an ad. And you can close out of it with the back button, but... Alright, so Mario Sunshine. I don't actually have a file on this. I haven't tried it out on this phone yet. So yeah, again, we're getting like 30 FPS in the menu. So the menu is always going to have a higher FPS than the actual game. And let's just jump into it. Again, like 30 FPS, which isn't necessarily terrible. but it's still a little choppy. And this is the part of the video where I'm just going to skip ahead, and I'll put it back once this cutscene's actually ended. Alright, so we're back, the cutscene's over, and now let's get into some gameplay. So right now, I'm not even doing as well as I was on Melee. I'm getting about 13 to 20 FPS. It's averaging, it looks like maybe like 15 or 17. But again, this, you can hear the audio. The music just sounds kind of chopped up. Yeah, and the gameplay, I mean, it's lagging. It's not an enjoyable experience again. Yeah, and you see that menu cutscene took way too long. Like, this is not playable, honestly. It's a good start, I think, and I think the emulator's definitely come a long way. But it's definitely gonna need some work. And again, this hardware, this was, you know, the phone when it came out, what, 2 years ago, 3 years ago at most. So the phone isn't old by any means. But it is, again, you know, this is, the emulator itself just isn't really polished yet. And the hardware is not designed for something this intensive, you know? Yeah. So let's move on to the Nintendo Wii now. Alright, so let's try out New Super Mario Bros. For the Nintendo Wii. And again, there's those ads. And you'll see what I meant before in the beginning of the video when I was talking about the controls getting stuck up in the corner. And you can adjust them. You know, there's an option if you pull down, and you can go into the settings and you can configure the controller, but they always end up popping back in the spot. Or, again, like I said, going off screen, which is kind of irritating. Alright, so right away you can see this audio is just very chopped up. The frame rate's going to be super low. And even in the menu, we're getting maybe like between 10 to 20 FPS again, if we're lucky. Wow. So the Nintendo Wii, obviously being a later device, is going to run a lot less smoothly, or not as smoothly. So I don't even know if we're going to be able to get into gameplay. I'm going to pause this again, and we'll wait for the cutscene to end, and I'll put the video back on. Alright, so we're back again, and that cutscene took about 2 minutes, and I think in-game it's probably like 30 seconds. So I'm kind of hesitant to even try the level, but let's see what happens. Oh, man. So when I say this is unplayable, I really mean this is unplayable. Not even that there's input lag, it just takes so long to do one step. So this jump, that's not even a hard jump. I only missed that because, again, like I'm trying to make it, and the game is just so far behind what I'm trying to do. And you can hear it in the audio, you can see it in the video, like, it's bad. This is probably the worst we've played yet, and again, that's to be expected. We're playing a game console that came out within the last, I guess 12 years now, 10 years? The Wii came out in 2006, but we're trying to emulate all of that hardware on something that can fit in our pocket. And the tech just isn't there yet, I don't think. But again, it is kind of, yeah, that pipe audio was just terrible. But it is really cool to see that the game, you know, it has potential, and maybe in the next few years we'll have an actual good running emulator for Wii and GameCube on the go. Yeah, so this is really, I mean, this is just unplayable. Like, you'll see. So watch Oh. So you can watch when I'm gonna hit the jump button. Adjust the camera up. And when Mario actually jumps. So it's... Sorry about that, guys. I kind of knocked over the phone stand. But yeah, so going back to the game, it's just not playable. This is like if Mario Sunshine was honestly like very good compared to this. I would rather play Mario Sunshine on this than ever have to play this again. This is just terrible. So with that, we're gonna move on to let's see, Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3 for the Nintendo Wii. One of my favorite games. So we're back. Let's hop right into Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3 for the Wii again. And you guys are probably noticing that I have a lot of like ROMs on my phone. I'm thinking about doing a video about like how to safely download ROMs and kind of avoid getting in trouble by your internet provider. So if that's something you guys are interested in, drop a comment, and I'll definitely make a video about that. Alright, we're just going to skip over all the menu. So right now, frame rate isn't too bad, but again, we're still not even into the menu of the game yet. And we're just going to skip the cutscene for now. Alright, so the audio is still good.
Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3.
So that's pretty good, but again, we're in essentially a cartoon 2D menu. You know, it's not really loading much to do this. And we'll just create a new file. So this is kind of misleading because you'd think, alright, the menu's loading, the menu and all the other like ROMs did not work. But again, this is a 2D menu. So this actually feels pretty good. The frame rate's pretty high right now. So let's just go into just a normal battle. Oh. And we'll play versus time, single. Alright, so I'm gonna be. Let's see, who is even unlocked from the start? I'll be Frieza. Okay, I'm not sure why the up button is mapped. That's weird. The up button is mapped to the home button. Not sure why that's happening. I'll try to avoid using it. Alright, so I'm not sure why the analog stick is mapped to the home button, but again, we'll try to avoid it. Let's do Teen Gohan. Oh my god. Super Saiyan. And Wasteland's fine. So again, this is, you know, the menu's getting pretty high frame rate. Loading screen, high frame rate.
Now then, how would you like to die?
Huh.
I have to fight.
The audio is not really chopping up at all. So this is actually, it's not perfect, but this is much better than all the other games. I gotta say, by far. If you're gonna play a Wii game, this is gonna be the game you're gonna have to play. I don't think I have a way to charge it. Oh yeah, there we go. Alright. So let's see. Can I do an attack? Yeah, so this is almost playable. I mean, it's at a pretty high frame rate. I can't see because the controllers are blocking it. But this, I'm not, you know, I've played this game in person, and this feels pretty good. This is something I actually wouldn't necessarily mind playing this on the go. But yeah, so let's see. Oh my god. you notice again some frame drops and it's transforming, but let's see if I can do it again. But even on those big attacks, you know, where it's using a lot of processing power, the attacks are still, yeah, there's not really a lot of drop of frame rate. Let's see if I can transform again, though. Yeah, so, honestly, not terrible. Again, I'm sorry about the menu that keeps popping up. I don't know why it's mapped to the analog stick. Alright, so to save myself from getting my ass handed to me, let's quit. Actually, let's see what happens if we try to go to the Wii menu in an emulator. It definitely won't bring up the console menu. I'm expecting it probably to crash. Yeah. I don't think it crashed, but I don't think it has anything to load, so I think it's going to just get stuck on this black screen. Yeah, so if you like this video, you know, like it, obviously. If you guys want to see how to get ROMs without getting in trouble with your internet service provider, drop a comment. I'll make a video about that. And yeah, share this with your friends if you liked it. If you have any questions, drop those in the comment section too. Alright, I'm out.